Hey everybody, welcome back to another business analysis video. In today's video, we're going to delve into the world of Agile Scrum. In the last video, we looked at differences between Agile and Waterfall methodologies for project delivery, right? So one type of Agile methodology is the Scrum, which is one of the popular ones. So Scrum, a popular project management methodology, it really emphasizes on collaboration, flexibility, and the value add to customer value. Agile methodology is often contrasted with the waterfall methodology, which we looked at last time, which is a linear and sequential approach to project management and product development. But in the Agile project delivery, let's take off these glasses because of the light glaring. In Agile project delivery, understanding the roles in Agile Scrum team is crucial in order to implement this methodology effectively, right? So let's get started at defining the roles in Agile. So in a Scrum team, there are three main roles, which include the product owner role, the Scrum Master role, and the development team. The product owner is somebody who is the key stakeholder of the project. They kind of represent your stakeholders, the business. So there usually will be like a manager of the project or a business representative of the project. They own the product that is being delivered, really. And they're mainly responsible for delivering the vision of the product, right? The product vision and managing the product backlog, as well as ensuring that the team delivers value to the business. Remember that Scrum really focuses on that flexibility and value add to the customer. So that's the role of the product owner on the Scrum team. They generally will manage the backlog, prioritize the backlog. The backlog is an area where you store all the requirements that has been gathered on the project, and you continuously store them there. In a separate video, we'll explore product backlogs. Now, the second role, the Scrum Master role, contrary to the traditional project management role, the Scrum Master is not a manager, but can be referred to as a servant leader. They generally will facilitate the Scrum events, which is the meetings that happen in the Scrum environment. We'll explore that in another video as well. We're really diving and delving into Agile environment for project delivery. So generally, the Scrum Master will remove any obstacles that the team is facing that would impact delivery of the product, right? And they will ensure that the team follow the Scrum practices, which really includes the Scrum ceremonies, the Scrum artifacts, which we will explore in the next coming videos. Now we now have the development team. It's not just one person, right? Because I'm sure you're asking the question, where is the business analyst in the Agile Scrum environment? What are we doing, right? It seems like product owner does a lot of the things that we do, right? So we're going to explore the development team, which is where the business analyst falls into. So the development team really are individuals who work to deliver the product increment. They are self-organizing people, they are cross-functional, and they are accountable for delivering the potentially shippable increment at the end of each sprint. So it would help to really know what these practices are in Agile Scrum. So if I'm talking about increments, sprints, and you're not really getting it, the next video will really explain what those activities and ceremonies are, as well as the artifact that are produced. But I really want you to understand the three and know what the three main roles are in the Scrum, and then we will go and look at those other areas. So let's consider a real-world example. I always like to give real-world examples so that you really know what I'm talking about. So imagine an organization is trying to create a new web app, a new mobile app rather, a mobile application. What is the product owner doing here? They will be the one who will liaise with the customers that will be using that mobile app, right? They will be the one to understand the needs of those customers, and then they'll be the one to translate them into the product vision and the backlog items, all those requirements. The product owner will translate them into that area within the backlog. At the same time, they will also prioritize these items. Which ones are more important on the list of backlog items, right? According to the value add, according to the customer value. The Scrum Master, like I mentioned, needs to ensure that the team are following the Scrum practices. For instance, there could be a server issue which will slow down the development team when they're creating or implementing or creating the designs, right? It could slow them down. So the Scrum Master will be there to resolve any issues and to find any workaround, just so that it doesn't impact the delivery for the sprint. And finally, the dev team. This includes a group of software developers, designers, testers, business analysts, right? All these various roles, solutions architects. They're the ones that will work together to deliver the features of the app at the end of each sprint. And they will pull work from the prioritized list of the backlog. They just select a few. This is what goes into the sprint. And then they work on that and decide how best to deliver these features. Now that I've described to you what the product owner, Scrum Master, and dev team are doing, you might now start to question, like I said before, what exactly is the BA doing here? Right? In my experience, the BA role on a Scrum project is very similar to what the product owner is doing, really, because the product owner represents the stakeholders, the end users of this mobile app. The role of the BA can overlap with that of the product owner, but at the same time, it can also be quite distinct depending on the structure of the team and depending on the needs of the team, okay? So some of the responsibilities that the BA can perform on a Scrum environment is communicating with the stakeholder, which is another thing that I already mentioned that the product owner does, right? The BA acts as bridging that gap between the business stakeholders and the dev team. We're always there to help the dev team to understand what the business stakeholder requirements are. We're also doing requirements elicitation and management, part of the tasks or the activities that BAs perform. We're also doing backlog management. We're managing the backlog. We're refining the backlog by ordering and prioritizing it. So a BA will work closely with the product owner as well on a Scrum project. We are writing user stories. We're writing epics, etc. Acceptance criteria, okay? All the things we're doing according to the business value, according to the stakeholder needs, and according to the project goals. We're also participating in the Scrum events, which I mentioned that we will look at. The Scrum ceremonies, those meetings, our daily stand-up, our sprint retrospective meetings, our sprint review, all those things we will look at in the next couple of videos. We also define the acceptance criteria and validation. So the BA will often define the acceptance criteria from each user story that have been identified. A lot of times the product owner will provide what those user stories, because the product owner, like I said, they represent the stakeholders. So a lot of time the BA will know who are the key stakeholders to go to by speaking to the product owner, because they have that initial relationship with the stakeholders. Product owner might have that initial tickets or title for the user story, and you might then have to go to the stakeholders to uncover deeper level details of that user story, for instance. As much as we're doing that, we also play a crucial role in validation activities, user acceptance testing. We help with user acceptance testing to ensure that all those developed features meet the acceptance criteria that we've documented as part of product backlog creation or as part of our user story. And one thing that we also help is to facilitate decision-making processes, providing all the necessary information and conducting any impact analysis, helping to ensure decision about the scope of the project, the schedules, the resources, the risks are all made based on information and analysis that we have done based on all the information. Really, that's what the BA would do on a Scrum team. So in conclusion, really understanding all these roles within the Scrum team is the first step that you need to have towards implementation of the project. Because if you don't have the right resources, how do you then implement the app? So you want to know who are the key people, who are the key stakeholders that will help to deliver this app, which will in effect create a successful project. In the next video, we'll explore Agile ceremonies, which is the meetings that we do within Agile Scrum project delivery. So if you like to know, if you like to remember, and don't forget, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the notification bell, so that anytime I upload videos, you receive that notification. You're aware that Pippa.G, she has uploaded a new video, so you can go and watch it, especially for the next one, which will be covering the Agile Scrum ceremonies. I hope you've enjoyed today's content, and thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Peace.